Looking at these, you would think they are three completely different men, right? Different jobs, different Spotify playlists, different hairlines. But here's the plot twist. Every single one made me feel exactly the same. Anxious, not enough, chasing crumbs. Sound familiar? If your love feels like Déjà vu in HD, stick with me. I'm about to show you why your heart keeps hiring the same actor in a new costume and how to finally recast that role. Grab water, take a deep breath. We're going to nerd out, laugh a little, maybe cry a tiny bit, but most importantly, get you unstuck. Quick introduction. I'm Natalyia Sizykh, psychologist, trauma-informed coach, tango lover, and former world-class collector of emotionally unavailable men. I've guided hundreds of clients through the exact pattern we are dissecting today. Some of them found healthy partnerships, some chose epic single lives, but all of them, without exception, stopped repeating pain on the loop. In the next 20 minutes, you'll get a clear diagnosis of the hidden script running your love life, a lab-tested step-by-step exit plan, real stories, brain science, practical micro moves you can already start today. I invite you to make this interactive. Whenever I ask a question, pause if you need, answer out loud, or write it in a notebook. Reflecting in real time wires new neural pathways, and that's exactly what we need to build better relationships. Normally, people think they are in charge of the choices being made, whether it's a job to take, a dinner to cook, or a hot guy to date. So what are you gonna feel when I tell you we aren't that conscious with our decisions? Imagine your unconscious mind as a movie director, with a single script titled Prove You'll Stay. Every time a new human walks onto the dating set, the director flips through the headshots, thinking, sweet, available, respectful, boring. Next. Oh look, tall, slightly aloof, compliments me once, then vanishes for 3 days. Perfect. You are hired. To our rational mind, this may sound ridiculous. However, hate to break it to you, but if our rational mind had to oversee everything we were going through the day, we would switch off in a couple of hours. A lot of processes within our body are automated and managed by subconscious mind, especially the ones related to building relationships, because its ultimate and most important goal is to keep us safe. So if your inner director thinks that that guy is the right choice, it will activate your body so that you start feeling suddenly attracted to him. Okay, you don't have to trust me. Let's make a mini check-in. Think back to your top 3 crushes or partners. What identical sentence could all of them have said to you? For me, it was, sorry, work is just crazy right now. Drop yours in the comments later. Your pattern's tagline is a priceless data. Now, let's get to the root cause of the strange wiring. If your love life was a happy one, you wouldn't be watching this video. So I assume something kinda goes south, and this something always has a pattern. You see? From 0 to about 7 years old, your brain is basically on record, no filters. It absorbs everything we see and experience, trying to figure out the world, how it works, what are the rules, and what's our place in it. We learn from our caregivers and other closest ones what love feels like, what is our value, and how we should be treated. That recording becomes your template, maintained in the body via cognitive beliefs and respective hormones. If Dad twirled you and said, "You're amazing," your wiring reads love equals warmth and presence. If Dad grunted later for 18 years, your wiring reads love equals rich and weight. Clearly, scenario casting is a bit more complicated than this, as it includes all your relationship with your mom. You also watch and identify with either male or female figures around you and absorb your parents' relationship style. But what's really important here is that whatever was regular then was recorded by your psyche as a norm to be maintained to stay safe, even if in the present reality it actually hurts. That's why to some of us, wrong partners feel like home cooking, no matter how much we try to fight it. Psychology tells us that as children, we not only need food and shelter, but also 5 core psychological nutrients to keep growing and eventually become a standalone person leading a happy life. These are safety, attunement, autonomy, positive mirroring, and reliable comfort in relationship with our caregivers. There are studies investigating what happens to a human child withdrawn of any of this. For example, the still face experiment by Dr. Edward Tronick, where after 3 minutes of trying to interact with unresponsive mother, an infant disconnected, looked away, and almost got depressed. Check it out in Google, you can see the whole thing on video by yourself. So basically, if we don't drink for 3 days, we die. If we don't eat, we live a bit longer. But if we eat poorly, our body compensates as much as possible to survive, limiting supply to less important organs and systems, and we suffer in the long run. Same goes for psychological needs. We don't die, we just don't develop or develop poorly, staying stuck somewhere we should have left years ago. Imagine yourself in a traffic jam, surrounded by cars in every lane, and then all the traffic's cleared away, lanes are free, but you are still there as if nothing's changed. Don't get me wrong, our psyche does its best, but without the fuel of these 5 nutrients, it simply cannot move on, and we cannot produce this internally. We need them from other human beings. So if your parents weren't there for you emotionally, you are lacking needs to be met. And therapists call that developmental arrest. Getting stuck psychologically at a certain age. Your body grows, you learn algebra, and inside lives a mini you post-mid-crisis. Worldwide statistics isn't exactly inspiring either, as we mostly have very young children walking in grown bodies and trying to battle with life completely unequipped for it. So instead of building happy grown relationships, you are forced to look for a replacement to your parents everywhere. Love life, friendships, colleagues, even bosses at work. This inner drive pushes you to find someone who will finally give you what you need so that you can move on with your development. Personally, I've had a 3-year-old child whispering, "Daddy, will you finally see me? I'm here, I'm your daughter, I love you so much." She wore glitter shoes and believed good behavior would buy love. And as you can imagine, she didn't learn it from nowhere, but from her parents. That inner toddler eventually took my dating app, swiped right on distant man, and craved, "This time he'll clap." Let's take 10 seconds to dive in. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and visualize your own inner kid. How old is she or he? You may not necessarily see them, you may have body sensations instead, or knowing of their presence, or just set the intention. All these options work. What does that child want to hear? Does she or he feel seen? Do they feel safe? Are they accepted? Notice if you feel compassion and care for them right now. Hold that image. We'll return to it later. To me, this was actually life-changing. When I found out that my emotions and attraction choices are not just some stupid things I'm supposed to control as I was taught growing up, but that there is a complex hormonal process behind every reaction that I have, it made it clear why, despite all of my efforts, my body was taken over. After all, we are smart souls in animalistic bodies. Our rational minds are later developments of evolution compared to both reticular formation and limbic system, which oversee our survival on much deeper levels. So we can tell them that we want to be treated with love and respect, seen, valued, supported, but if these two are programmed with danger, longing, and abuse as a norm, this is preaching to the choir. Whatever you've experienced growing up, even in mom's tummy, was imprinted in your body as a hormonal formula. The one body does its best to maintain, taking care of your safety. Not the way you now want it to, but the way it knows best. So when you meet someone who mirrors your childhood dynamics, your limbic system releases a nostalgia cocktail. Dopamine for a reward chase, adrenaline for uncertainty, cortisol for all the danger, and oxytocin for microbonding. Calm, available people don't spike that cocktail, so anxiety registers them as no chemistry. And we typically mistake it for our instinct and connection, believing we've met the one. Kind of. The one is just an addiction to familiar neurochemicals, not the love of your life. Healthy love doesn't spike your nervous system, so it feels wrong. Stuck in this hormonal trap, your relationship scenario can alternate in two ways. Path 1. The intense repeat. You meet the perfect guy or girl. Butterflies everywhere. Dreams of the perfect future together. You seem to get along so easy and smooth. It's felt like a true, deep and meaningful connection. As if you two are the perfect lobsters like Rachel Green and Ross Geller, meant to be together, bathing in the sea of love and passion. This lasts for a little while or a bit longer. But then he's not with you anymore. Either cruel circumstances take him away or he simply withdraws from you emotionally. You crave to come back to sweet heaven, but it's no longer available. So you chase, he ghosts, you chase more, you feel like you've lost the dream itself, life no longer has colors or meaning, tears, pain, picking the pieces off your broken heart. It's the relationship with extremes, highs and lows. And you can have one of these in your life or keep choosing this type of partners on repeat, getting even more addicted to fireworks, obsession, and drama. Or you get tired, disappointed, and choose path 2, the safe placeholder. Exhausted by drama, you date nice Alex. They're kind, warm, reliable, consistent, the right guy, the marriage material, and you feel zero butterflies. Your mind says yes, but your body says It's like relationship melatonin, safe island where you're licking your wounds, surrounded by his attention and care, you heal and start craving the love again. So after a while, having used the time out when your body is recharged and misses the spike, you dump Alex or quietly friend zone them and chase another mystery. Loop restarts. If you recognize yourself in these patterns and want a real change, I work with clients one-on-one to untangle these deep roots. The link is in the description. I'd be honored to support your journey. Time for a true story. 2017. I'm a transformational coach helping my clients feel worthy and grab a hold of their lives by day, texting the vanisher by night. It started perfectly. I've met Mr. Charming treating me like a lady. He was so focused on me, excited, felt like I was the one and he was never gonna let me go. It actually did feel like a relationship when he suddenly disappeared for a while. Then came back, scheduled a date only to cancel it because of work. He'd send a flower emoji, vanished for a week, then asked if I'd seen his favorite indie film that I actually told him about. One Sunday I waited 2 hours in a cafe. He was caught in traffic, and I paid the bill, stepped outside, and it hit me like ice water. I am literally rewinding my childhood for the 1000th time. That night I cried a lot and promised my body we will learn a new song, even if I have to hire an orchestra. Spoiler alert, I did. Chance encounter 2 years later and his tricks didn't work on me anymore. I was fully aware of every manipulation I fell for before. His charms was still there, but I was no longer blinded. Instead, healthy chemistry and simple day-to-day life feel electric, not dull. I'm not rushing into anything, not losing my equilibrium over some stranger, and my inner child feels safe and taken care of. Drop a comment below with your story, whether it's the one with a happy ending or it's just in the making. Like Jessie J sings, I'm perfectly incomplete. I'm still working on my masterpiece. Trouble is, without the awareness of what's really happening, we reenact the same scenario endlessly. Cast partners who fit our wound, hoping to get out of this vicious circle. But the two people each stuck in their own childhood story cannot build a new one together. It's just the fact. When loops exhaust you more than you can take and you kinda turn into a shell of who you used to be, thanks Christina Perry, there is another path usually taken. Basically, you flip the switch from vulnerability and dependency to counterdependence. Love doesn't work for me. It's me and my cats forever. And hey, I do have a cat and he'd been there for me throughout many years and a lot of drama, so don't get me wrong. What I'm trying to say here is that at this stage, you give up on the idea of finding the right person itself and choose to protect yourself from pain by staying away from relationships at all, consciously or subconsciously. This may happen with active social life or a complete withdrawal and self-isolation that I've personally gone through. Taking a break from dating is one of the ways to recover after a lot of suffering. This is legit, especially if you know what you are doing and why, and you work on reprogramming your casting scenario. Otherwise, it feels safe short-term, but it actually is the same pattern in reverse. Intimacy equals threat, so the system avoids it altogether. Intense repeat, safe placeholder, or counterdependence are the facets of the same childhood scenario. Any of these mean you are getting lost in a pumpkin patch, not moving on to a happier life with the healthy adulthood. Instead, your inner child is still stuck there in the past, wanting to be loved, seen, and cared for. I promised you a step-by-step exit plan that will get you free from the scenario. Hopefully you have already benefited from the micro moves I shared today, but here is the roadmap to your healing. Yet, before I dive into it, I have to acknowledge the fact that despite emotions being universal and that patterns people have are more or less standardized, everybody's psyche is a whole different world that requires a lot of loving attention to unfold and almost heal on its own with the proper guidance. If it wasn't like this, group trainings would have already replaced psychologists with one-on-one practice. And as a former top manager from mining and metals, hello, I'm all in for efficiency, yet I'm in personal therapy myself. Having said that, here are the steps that will get you through the pattern and out. Step 1, awareness and language. We cannot heal what we keep vague, so reflect on your pattern and name it out loud. For example, I chase distant people because distance was registered as love when I was a kid. Labeling reduces limbic reactivity by up to 40%, which means that when we know what is going on with us, we get the power back. So what helps here is journaling your emotions at the end of the day, finding their triggers and reflecting on when you have already felt the same. This way you start building full picture of your emotional life and uncovering root cause. I also suggest you analyze your relationships one by one, revealing the pattern. You can write a few essays and analyze them afterwards, or talk to a safe friend, making this even more fun and healing. Step 2, emotional completion. That frozen child you have hopefully met earlier today needs mourning and reparenting. Journaling, heart's work, somatic shakers, ugly crying with a therapist, all valid and helpful. The goal isn't to blame, it's to metabolize stuck grief so your nervous system no longer searches for duplicates. And this is a game changer. Once your inner child meets the grown you and feels your warmth and love, it no longer needs to depend on anyone outside getting everything that it craved for from within. They can finally grow up into a healthy, content, and whole you. All you do is you kind of reach out to the past and convince that kid to trust you and to come back to future with you. This frees you from the patterns and opens up the world of new opportunities. Step 3, new rehearsal. So on top of freeing the stuck kid from the past, which is key, we need to teach your nervous system the new patterns to change the benchmark of a hormonal cocktail. So here I invite you to practice micro moments of safe intimacy. Ask a friend to listen for 5 minutes without advice and with a lot of compassion. Practice saying no whenever you want to. Train yourself to receive praise without deflecting. Ask for help with minor things. And 2 key things. When you feel the same call for drama, connect back to the kid within and kindly ask what he needs at the moment. Try giving it to him with gentle care. And observe your body sensations around new romantic prospects. If you feel unsafe, trust yourself straight away and leave without any extra chances. Each rep rewires synapses. Think gym for attachment circuits. You need to learn what it feels like in the body to choose yourself, to filter real love and care over the childhood norm from the people around you, and make it automatic. If you are nodding but feel I'll never pull this off alone, I get it. My private coaching dives into your exact pattern, your unique cast, and equips you with life tools and compassionate accountability. Click the first link in the description. There is a detailed frequently asked questions, pricing, and an application form. Please note that I keep the roster small. If spots are full, please join the waitlist. Earlier, I've helped you connect with your inner child. Let's close out with helping you change the way you feel straight away. Close your eyes, sit tall, feet on the floor. Exhale longer than you inhale. Inhale, exhale. Keep breathing. Visualize that child version of you. What do you feel towards them now? Is there warmth and compassion? Is the kid silent or crying, cautious or open for contact? Tell them you are no stranger. You are them in the future, grown, strong, independent. that you came because you care about them and you want to help. Notice how the kid is reacting to your words. Ask them if they want you to help them. And if they nod or say yes, imagine they are standing in front of a giant mixing console labeled love settings. Notice dials with labels distance, criticism, chase, turned up to 10. Reflect on what your child is feeling. Maybe they will show you events from earlier where the dials were set. Maybe they will get emotional. Be with them. Share the memories and feelings. And now put your adult hand over theirs, gently, carefully, and together lower each dial down to 2. Now, together, you can do it easily. Dial down and see how the kid is feeling. Now find labels respect, warmth, consistency, and turn them up to 10. How does this feel? Tell the child, we are safe now. I'm here for you because I love you and you matter. How do they feel now? Tell them you will come back for more and ask for permission to leave. Once they agree, shift your focus back on your breathing. Inhale, exhale. Feel your feet on the floor again. Another inhale and exhale. And now you can slowly open your eyes and come back to reality. How do you feel? What changed? Let me know in the comments how this inner work affected your state. I might record more of this for you further on. With love and care. You see, you're not broken. You're not too much. You're not unlucky in love. You just have a script, and scripts can be rewritten. I've edited mine, hundreds of clients edited theirs, and pen is in your hand now. Sometimes a heartbreak is exactly the moment when we stop and say, I don't want to live like this anymore. It's time for a change. Thanks for trusting me with this 20 minutes. I hope this was healing. If you're ready to stop replaying the past and start building your future, you know where to find me. The link is below. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the next video.